From Los Angeles in the corner of Figueroa and Martin Luther King Boulevard, historic, iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, the Arizona Wildcats and Rich Rodriguez taking on Coach Helton's USC Trojans. As we take a look at the standings in the Pac-12 South, the winner of this game, simply put, has a leg up on the title. To think that Arizona was picked to finish dead last. They were 2-2, and then Khalil Tate happened.
I think they found their quarterback now.
The folks probably in town are like, okay, who is this Khalil Tate guy?
We came in here with the objective of stopping Khalil Tate, and we didn't tackle well.
He brings an element to the team.
It's all set up based on what he can do as far as his legs.
He is unstoppable. And a great quarterbacking showdown tonight. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore chopping it up with Quint Kessenich down on the field. He'll join us in just a minute. Rod, Khalil Tate owned the month of October in college football. He's the best player in the country that people are still finding out about. He's a treat to watch.
He's amazing, that meteoric rise. I can't wait to see him in person tonight. Watch him on tape. Yes, his legs are fantastic. He's a little Lamar Jackson, a little bit of Michael Vick, but there's more to him than just the running. Because people focus on that, they've overlooked his ability to throw a great deep ball, and he's hurt people. You want to talk about Mr. October, with all due respect to Reggie Jackson? Take a look at this. First in rushing yards since October 1st. And then the first in yards per rush and a pretty good completion percentage.
He's from the area, competing in front of friends and families. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold still putting together a very good season.
He's like, what's with the new shiny toy? You know, I'm still pretty good. #1 pick likely in the NFL draft should he come out next spring. And he's played well the last few weeks. 11 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he seems to have settled in.
USC winning the toss, electing to receive. On the return, USC will get first possession. And they'll take it out to the 25-yard line. Cooper on the tackle, and Darnold, it'll have it 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Darnold playing perhaps his best game of the season last week in their win against Arizona State. Redshirt sophomore took over last year, midway through the season. He has a lineage of great athletes in his family. His mother played volleyball. His dad was a varsity athlete as well. Ronald Jones in the backfield, 1st down and 10. The handoff is to Jones, and Jones takes it out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Darnold completing 63% of his passes on the season. 20 touchdown passes, those 10 interceptions a little bit problematic at times.
He has got crazy accuracy, though, and that leads him at times to try to squeeze things into windows he probably shouldn't, but boy, he's got an arm.
Pittman goes in motion. They head it off to Jones again, and Jones, who's coming off a strong performance last week, picks up another 6. The tackle made by Justin Belknap of Arizona. 1st down and 10.
You know, people talk about Darnold having struggled early on this season, primarily with turnovers, including some fumbles, but you can't deny his skill set.
A little bit of a high snap. They give it to Jones again for the 3rd consecutive time, and picks up another 1st down out near the 45-yard line. Huey's trending in the same direction as last week.
Yeah, and USC feels they have a physical advantage in this game. And if that's true, Ronald Jones is going to have a monster night. He's coming off a 216-yard performance against Arizona State. Vision, burst, acceleration, combined with world-class speed. He hits home runs.
Pretty combustible combination. Gets another chance here. Jones cuts it back and got tripped up at the 30-yard line, or else he had 6 on his mind. Flanagan fouls, making a touchdown-saving tackle on the 29-yard run.
Watch when he makes this move up here. You will see things very, very clearly. He sees that hole. Great block by Brown, the guard up front.
And the Trojans going fast on offense. A high-tempo. Fields making the tackle on the play. Jones, the workhorse on this drive. Ronald Jones, 6-foot junior out of McKinney, Texas. Now he's going to get a break. Ware comes into the ball game. Cedric Ware, number 28. The lone back, a 3-receiver formation here. Vaughn's in motion. Now it's a trips right. They hand it off to Ware, and Ware stopped up after a gain of 1 on the play by Cruikshank.
You know, Jonesy, this is a young defense. A lot of freshmen out there for Arizona. Also undersized. Quint talked about this size advantage. You're talking about a front that really isn't very big. 250, 260 up against some 300-pound guys and linebackers that are in the 220 range. There is a huge physical advantage for USC.
USC hoping to maintain a semblance of balance in this game as Vaughns goes in motion to the top of the screen. Ware still in the backfield. Darnold complete over the middle to his tight end, Petit. Tyler Petit stopped up a yard shy, and it's 4th down coming up, and a little bit of a decision for that guy.
I don't think so. I mean, the way they've run the ball here, the way they've been dominant, what he thought coming in, you line up and go get this.
Showing confidence. Darnold keeps it, and I'm not sure that he got it. He may have come up a little bit short, Rod.
I think you're right.
Arizona football.
How often do you see a ref get down on his knees to look for any space?
You'd think that in the day and age of all this advanced technology, Rod, there could be something a little more scientific with the first down mark.
Well, scientific or not, how about the explosiveness of that defensive front getting into the backfield, creating a pileup where there was nowhere for Darnold to get any ground. I mean, he couldn't move his feet.
Okay, so that Wildcats defense comes up big on its first sequence here. J.J. Taylor in the backfield behind this guy, Khalil Tate. The best player in college football over the last 4 weeks, by far, bar none. And now he is USC's problem. Tate hands it off. Stop made by Nwosu, a 2-yard gain on the play by J.J. Taylor. Khalil Tate started the season on the bench. In September, he played sparingly. There was an injury to Brandon Dawkins in the Colorado game, and that's when Tate got his opportunity. They hand it off here on the reverse. And a nice run by Ellison. Picks up 5 on the play, sets up a 3rd down and short. So Tate came off the bench after Dawkins was injured. And folks, he hasn't come out of the lineup since. He set an FBS rushing record for quarterbacks in that game of 327 yards. 4 weeks in a row, he's been player of the week in the Pac-12. No one else has done that. 3rd and 2, and he hands it off to the first down again. This time it's going to be Taylor once more.
And he hasn't carried the ball yet. I mean, USC is hyper-focused on him, and they've gotten Taylor involved. Now, you talked about Tate exploding on the scene. This has been a big week for him. And the question for him tonight is, how do you manage your emotions in this week? A lot of stuff has happened that we'll talk about.
A lot of friends and family members here. He's from the area. Tate has thrown it well, too, downfield. No chance at that one.
Oh, he missed it.
For Ellison.
Yeah, he had Brown. Brown was open down the field, but I don't think he saw him. But that would have been the way to go. He had a chance to get a big play there and missed it. But talking about his week, he's now on the Heisman scene. He was not on the Heisman scene, not getting votes last week. National writers have been visiting him all week. We visited with him. He's coming home.
It's a lot to deal with, a lot of moving parts this week for this quarterback who's just been the starter for his 5th game now. On his first running attempt, he keeps it for a gain of 2. Houston Jr. makes the stop on the play. Khalil Tate, 4 consecutive Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week honors.
That's crazy.
The first player to do it. Rod, they might want to name the award after him.
Hey, remember, he did some of that when Bryce Love was going off at Stanford. He still got the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week.
Had 275 yards passing last week in their win against Washington State. And he tries to pass here. Spins out of trouble and sacked back at the 27. Chris Hawkins was there.
USC built a fence. There was no place to go. They didn't rush too far upfield. They made him dance in the middle of the pocket, which is what they want to do. Take the edges away. You saw Nwosu, number 42 on the outside, take away the left edge.
That's the first sack that they've allowed since September the 22nd against Utah. Harris back for this punt for the Trojans at his own 30. Josh Pollock, low snap, and they get to it. A scoop and score, room service Trojans. Houston Jr. with the touchdown. It all fell apart at the low snap.
Low snap. And Jonesy, when something like that happens, you have to hurry but not rush. You have to make sure you secure it and take care of it. Take your eyes off of it. You don't secure it, you got a problem, and Houston is there to take advantage.
And USC on the board first. Winner of this game has a leg up on the South Division title in the Pac-12. And the defense, or special teams, gets the first touchdown. John Houston Jr. takes it in on the scoop and score. We'll be back right after this. The city of Los Angeles aglow at night here at the Coliseum. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick down in the field. USC out to a quick 7-0 lead on the scoop and score by Houston Jr. Took it in 11 yards. On the return, this is Tyrell Johnson for the Wildcats. Has an alley and a nice return out beyond the 35.
What to do, follows his blocks and just pounds it in the end zone. UW looking good, Jonesy.
Yeah, they do so far. Boy, the turnover by Darnold. His counterpart Tate on the field. 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Tate finds his man for the first down. That's number 6, Shun Brown.
You know, it's those throws like that by Darnold that make people question, is he really ready to leave college and go to the NFL because of all the turnovers, Q? What are your thoughts?
Well, they love to roll out, and they stayed to that tendency. But he was staring right at Crookshank. Just a great play. And the one thing that stands out, Mark, as Tate gets tackled near the first down marker, is Arizona's defense. Last week, it was rope-a-dope. They gave up over 600 yards of offense, but they came up with 4 interceptions in the red zone especially. They bend, but right now they haven't been breaking.
7-0. Huge turnover a moment ago on that interception. A flag thrown at the 42-yard line. Khalil Tate, keep in mind, was recruited by USC as an athlete. Coach Helton told him, hey, you can come here and try out for the quarterbacking position.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 98. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
Tate just thought it would be a better fit for him as we look at the culprit on that last penalty, number 98, Fatu.
What a turnaround this has been. All of a sudden, Arizona is getting close to USC's red zone.
And there's the ladder. Nunley with the reception, although it wasn't downfield. Picks up a few yards. Picks up 5 on the play. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, at some point, Rich Rodriguez is going to look out there and he's going to say, look, I got to help my quarterback. I got to move those safeties. They can't get that close to the line of scrimmage. That's a 9-man front you're trying to run into. Moving back.
2nd and 5. There's Tell keeping an eye on Khalil Tate. Tate in trouble and sacked, and they lose some critical, pivotal yardage now outside of field goal range with 5 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, Tate has always been the best athlete on the field. Used to making plays. He just ran through high school, and he's run through guys last month. Not that time. There's some pretty good athletes at USC.
Yeah. Trojans are saying, hey, Khalil, I'm not trying to be on your highlight tape, bro. The blocked punt, the scoop and score by Houston. Trojans lead when we come back for the second quarter. 3rd down and 19 for Khalil Tate on a predetermined run. Tate down to the 28-yard line. And fourth down coming up. They're well within field goal range of Josh.
I like
Pollard.
that call. I like that.
What do you like about it?
It gave him a chance to get a shot at 3 points. You know, picking up a 3rd and 19 isn't all that easy, but they've got a good, strong kicker. They do a safe play with Tate. Now you have a chance to get some points out of it.
What do you make of the fact that we haven't seen Tate blow up the way we might have expected so far? What does it say about USC defensively?
Not just USC defensively, but offensively, keeping him off the field, controlling the line of scrimmage with their offense.
This is Lucas Haversick, made a 57-yarder already this year and knocks this one through from 45. So Arizona on the board here to start the second quarter. This is Velus Jones Jr. from the 10. Great wheels out to the 35-yard line. A nice return. First down and 10. Gets it again. And brought down just shy of midfield by Dane Cruikshank. 6-yard gain on the play. Stephen Carr.
Are you surprised that Darnold has struggled tonight? I mean, 2 throws, 1 pick, should have been 2 picks, possibly. It's something that at least we got the sense watching film the last couple weeks that he was getting beyond that.
Yeah, he was trending in a great direction. Not seeing his A game yet, but still a long way to go. 2nd and 4. Stays in the pocket and fires a dart complete to the boundary. Jalen Green with the reception. That's Khalil Tate's good buddy. They played high school football together on an 8-yard catch.
Here's a good look at him in the pocket, coming off, finding his secondary receiver. You know, he's got a great skill set. I mean, he's patient and the like.
Went through his progressions then?
Yeah.
First down and 10. Darnold hands it off to Jones, who's back in the ball game, but Jones stopped up at the line of scrimmage by Tony Fields. We've been saying his name a lot tonight, the true freshman out of Las Vegas.
Getting back to Darnold, you know, the last thing we talked about, drop back passing, when you're in the pocket versus outside the pocket, you see he has struggled more in the pocket with picks. That's the toughest area. Now, he seems to freelance and be comfortable when he's out of the pocket, but turnovers and making plays from the pocket where you don't turn it over is going to be the big thing where he's got to get a little bit better.
Now you wonder how that impacts the evaluations of the guys at the next level. Little play fake in the pocket and now out of it. And makes a play out of it. Green again brought down. They're going to mark him down at about the 20-yard line.
I think he's more comfortable outside of the pocket. I think he sees better outside of the pocket. This is a little bit of, I've done this my entire life, from grade school to high school to last season. I extend plays, I make a good throw. A little bit different when you're confined by the pocket. It takes most quarterbacks time to grow and get comfortable in the pocket.
Has pretty good size back there at 6'4". A 22-yard gain by Green on the catch. Darnold, a dart incomplete, in and out of the hands of Green. Dialed up Green's number for a 3rd consecutive time, and that one might have been a little bit hot coming in, but certainly catchable.
Well, you know, he's talked about, he told you yesterday how he's tried to handle a year where he's been in the spotlight, got a lot of attention, and maybe didn't have the success that he wanted early on. Carson Palmer told him, live in the moment. Enjoy this season. Enjoy college. Don't worry about the next game. Don't worry about the NFL. And he said he's trying to live that way now and not get too caught up in other things.
Has a group of friends down in San Clemente, down by the beach, that he keeps in contact with to stay grounded. Through the air, it's Jones on the other side of that catch. Derek Bowles making the tackle on a 5-yard gain. So 3rd down coming up. They got to get all the way down to the 12 for the first down.
Well, these are the downs and the situations that make quarterbacks. 3rd down, you're in scoring position. You've got to protect the fact that you've got 3 points in your back pocket, and you got a chance to pick up 7. Protect the football, make good decisions. Let's see what he does.
11th play of the drive. Feels like the Trojans have had the ball all night, but only lead by 4. Darnold, wide open. Touchdown, Vaughns.
That's the stuff you love. A laser of a throw, reads the defense perfectly, doesn't waste any time getting the ball to Vaughn, and look where he catches it. With his hands at the numbers where he can keep moving, you see things like that and you go, yeah, that's my #1 pick. That's my guy. Scouts are looking going, yeah, you cannot deny his skill set.
Yeah, he spun it on that one. Darnold with his 21st touchdown pass of the season, the 52nd of his career. Vaughn's at the other end of it with his 4th touchdown catch. In the immortal words of Keyshawn Johnson, give me the ball. Look at downtown Los Angeles, and Jalen Green with a touchdown reception a moment ago, one-upping his buddy Khalil Tate, who he played high school football with. And, Tate's going to get the football in a moment here, but 11 plays on that drive, Rod. About 5.5 minutes on the field. It seems and feels like Tate hasn't had much time on the field at all here tonight.
Well, he hasn't. And remember, we talked about him having to manage his emotions, coming home, playing against teammates, playing against the team that offered him a scholarship, but said no pretty much to quarterback. And his first week really on the Heisman horizon.
Certainly some opportunity with respect to the Heisman tonight. From the 5-yard line, Johnson upended at the 15th. First down and 10 for the guy that set college football on fire in the month of October, but people remember November. The winner of this game has a leg up on the Division South title. Tate keeping it. And is brought down after a gain of about 3. Let's go to Q.
Mark, Khalil Tate played in this game last year, and I asked Rich Rodriguez what was the biggest difference. He said the play sheet. He took his play sheet, folded up, and said last year when he played in the game, the play sheet was this big. This year, it's the full deal. And he opened it up to show the entire itinerary of Arizona plays.
It's a bigger sheet now, Q.
Much bigger.
Yes. Downfield and incomplete at the 45. Intended for Tony Ellison. This was what it looked like last year. Just 7 of 18. Had a pick and a fumble. It was a rough night for the then 17-year-old freshman. But we talked to him yesterday at the walkthrough, and he's a totally different player right now.
Yeah, but right now, USC is really kind of stifling him. They've got to switch it up. They're getting man coverage on the outside. The safeties are crowding the line of scrimmage on first down. They've got to throw it more on first down. They've got to take chances. This 3rd and 7, this is a little tougher.
Little receiver screen complete. That's Brown. Shun Brown going to be stopped up about 5 yards short of the first down. Houston Jr. in on another stop for USC.
Jonesy, I guarantee you, Rich Rodriguez and company and his O coordinators will be over there talking about, look, these safeties at 7 yards and these corners pressing us, we have to throw on first down. We've got to loosen them up and take shots. You can't keep running into that. You can't get Tate loose.
Yeah. He's been bottled up. Remember, we had a low snap that led to a blocked punt and fumble recovery for a touchdown earlier. Josh Pollock.
Boy, low kick.
He barely got that off at the 43. This is Harris. Tripped up at midfield, but falls forward into Wildcat territory. The Trojans will start off with good field position on this drive after the 9-yard punt return. Back to the Coliseum after this. Thinking Houston Astros, Gary Pettis perhaps still, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to the Astros. Pettis, the base coach. Ronald Jones on the handoff, trying the left side of that offensive line, which is showing a lot of push today. Derek Bowles in on the tackle for the Wildcats. 2-yard gain for Jones on the play. Jones stacking up the yards, approaching 100 already. Went to his first NFL game with his dad at 10 years old and really fell in love with the sport at that point. His late father, Ronald Sr., former lifetime Army sergeant. On the screen, Tebebe. And Darnold took a hit on this play.
Yeah, Matter just came across the backside of the formation, completely unseen, for a nice little screen play. Kind of picks up some good yardage there. And you're right, Darnold kind of took a little tumble there, but it's a big boy. He can handle that.
That's 6'4", 220. First down and 10. Jones trying to get to the edge, and a nice tackle by that Wildcat defense. Colin Schooler, interesting story right there. Had a pick 6 last week in their win against Washington State. Schooler played high school football against Sam Darnold, and when I asked Darnold about it,
how'd he do?
He said he had a pick 6 against me too. But that he had a bad flashback when we brought that up.
But he said he's a nice guy,
yeah.
So he wasn't really mad. You know, he likes competing against him, knows the family.
Yeah. Made a good play. Second down and 8. Darnold has a man. Touchdown, Mitchell.
Jonesy, you can talk about the turnovers, talk about maybe some bad decisions at times that led to those turnovers, but when you see throws like this, oh my goodness. I'm not sure how many guys in the NFL can make that kind of a throw in that position. Wow, that is great.
And a great catch at the other end by Stephen Mitchell Jr., who's been dealing with a shoulder injury.
Awesome.
Haul that one in.
Yeah, good route, good layout, good throw.
And USC up 21-3. And the still stoic countenance of Sammy D. Call him Sammy TD right now. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. Traveler, of course, getting a lot of action here early. His team up 21-3. For those of you just tuning in this quarterback showdown tonight, a decided edge, albeit it's still early, going to Sam Darnold, who's thrown 2 touchdowns in his last 3 passes, Rod.
Well, remember also that with the Heisman leaders kind of struggling or being pedestrian today, except for Baker Mayfield, big opportunity for Khalil Tate tonight, yet hasn't had an opportunity to take advantage of it.
This is Tyrell Johnson from the 3. They could use a play on special teams, and Johnson makes a good one there. Takes it out beyond the 35. Tate just 4 for 8 so far. Make it 5 for 9 on that completion. Shun Brown on the other end of it.
But that's the right approach. We talked about the need to throw the ball on first down.
What does that do to the defense?
You know, they've been creeping up. Look how close these safeties are. Look how close you are to the line of scrimmage. You loosen them up when you start throwing. They're up there for the run game.
Tate pulls it out. Trying to get to the edge and upended at the 49-yard line by Jack Jones, but still a 5-yard gain on the play.
Little credit to this USC defense, guys like Jack Jones having to really bring it tonight as you see Tell try to chase him down. Good tackle. They are playing without Iman Marshall, their best corner. So Jack Jones and Langley both getting a lot of attention, a lot of man-to-man coverage tonight for those 2 guys.
First down and 10. Little reverse. This is Johnson, and Johnson is going to be stopped up about 2 yards short of the first down. Houston Jr. making the tackle on the play.
This is a critical drive for Arizona and for Tate. Tate for confidence, Arizona because they need a touchdown to get back in this game.
Arizona lining up fast, and they'll pick up the first down there on the run by J.J. Taylor and move the chains. Yeah, that's a big first down to keep the drive alive. Josefa making the tackle on the play. Q?
Yeah, Wildcats moving the ball, but let's keep in mind, no explosive plays, and that's really been their hallmark this year. 36 plays of over 30 yards to lead FBS. They have yet to connect on a gash play. I think you got to credit the discipline of the USC defense.
Yeah, Q, and I think you can slip a H-back tight end out. I just circled. one of them for you. That's a big play waiting because those safeties are so close.
Only 86 total yards. Tate tried to hit USC with the pump fake, which has been something that the Trojans defensively have discussed. Coach Pendergast talked about it to us a little bit.
Yeah, you know, Bryce Woma, 81, is in that H-back spot. He was open on that play. You know, you still have to take some chances. What Tate does well in the throwing game, excuse me, is a deep ball. Give him a chance to lay one out. It's hard to do on 2nd and long and 3rd and long.
Tate. No magic so far in the first half. He's sacked back at the 26-yard line by Iosefa. A 3-yard loss.
You don't often get a lot of pressure from USC because they can usually apply it with 4. But they bring some extra guys here, and there's nowhere for Tate to go. They form a nice little pocket. They don't let him slip to the outside, which was the #1 goal for the defense. Keep him in the middle of the field. Don't let him slip out to the side.
3rd sack of the night. Tate back to pass. Deep into traffic and overthrows his intended receiver, Johnson, who had 2 defenders sandwiching him. And 4th down coming up. And you can see the disappointment on Khalil Tate's face. And Rich Rodriguez all up in Johnson's grill on the sidelines, but an encouraging pat at the end of it.
Well, there was a mix-up on routes. They believe Johnson ran the wrong route, which didn't give Tate an opportunity. So a wasted opportunity.
Haversick from 43 yards out. And he's got his 2nd one of the night, 2 for 2. And that's the end of the first half of play. Trojans leading at the half as we head to the studio for our halftime report. 21-6 at halftime. Both teams ranked in the top 25. USC has won the previous 5 meetings between these two. Mark Jones chopping it up alongside Rod Gilmore. Quint Kesnick down on the field. Joining us in just a bit. Rod, what has to happen here for Arizona to get back in the game?
Really need to get something on this opening possession, and they have to get Tate involved. He hasn't really been on the field an awful lot, so they need him to do something.
Yeah, can't make big plays when you're on the sidelines for most of the first half. But Arizona going to receive here to start off the 3rd quarter. Tyrell Johnson on the kickoff return. And he takes it out to the 31-yard line. This was a big week for Tate, making a homecoming to LA.
Khalil Tate, Inglewood, California, quarterback.
There he goes! Touchdown, Tate!
Playing a key role is kind of different. You know, a lot of family come to the game.
Tate's gone!
Whenever I came home, maybe a good homecoming. It's a big game. Pac-12 South is at stake, and I'm going to come out on top.
Very confident during the week. He prepared that way. But there's a look at the numbers from the first half. Just 5 of 12 passing. Rod, you talked about them having to break tendency on 1st down, especially. Let's see how they get started here in the 3rd quarter. Tate taking a shot deep on the post. Batted away nicely, incomplete. Harris.
Woods a tight end, 6'6". They tried to go for the size mismatch there. You see there's a little bit of going for the ride there by the nickelback Harris. J.N.A. Harris was hanging on and managed to make the play.
Well, Arizona at least taking shots on 1st down. Tate back to pass and under some heat. And got back some yardage, but is going to take a loss on that one. Good pursuit by Nwosu. 3rd down and long coming up. Loss of 4 on that last play.
Give a lot of credit to the USC defense. They have executed Pendergast's game plan. They've been terrific on 1st down. They've really hemmed in Tate, taken away his running lanes. They've used tail on him. They forced 3rd and long, and they've held up in these situations. This is where they want Tate to be, in the pocket on 3rd and long.
He's misfired on 7 of his last 9 passes. And sacked, swallowed back at the 18-yard line by Tell and Houston Jr. He never had a chance on that play, Rod.
Yeah, well, Jonesy, we talked about the night that Tell's been having. He took this challenge on tonight. You'll see him come on inside. They really basically said, look, you're the guy. You're the guy that can handle Tate, and they brought him right up the middle that time.
Boy, Arizona had only given up 4 sacks all season long. That was the 5th one they've given up tonight. A terrible punt by Josh Pollock. It's going to roll down to the 46-yard line, just a 26-yard punt. And Rich Rod looking busted and disgusted right now, back after this. The venerable edifice that is Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Folks, you're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. Under the lights, this building that has hosted a couple of Olympic Games. Olympics coming here in 2024, Rod. Get you a ticket, huh?
Yeah. Hook me up.
Well, it looked like a track meet early for Ronald Jones. Little play action. Darnold underneath, finds his man, Burnett wide open. And down to the 5, 1st and goal, Trojans.
The patience that time by Darnold. He waited for Burnett to clear. He looked at him in the middle of the field, you see, didn't clear the zone, waited for him to continue on to the sideline and got him out there. That was a nice effort, great patience.
And off to Jones, touchdown, put his head down and got to the end zone. That's the 11th rushing touchdown this year for Jones.
Yeah, Jonesy, for a moment, it looked like they might stop that play, but not with Jones running hard and not with some good blocking inside.
And USC in control. Jones with another touchdown. And with a name like Jones, balling's a habit. You know it. Arizona was as close as 4 points at 1.7 to 3, but Jones and that great job by the offensive line. And T. Martin has really schemed a great game plan for his offense. The offensive coordinator Johnson on the kickoff return. There's a flag down as Johnson goes down. J.J. Taylor in the backfield. It has been a turbulent, tough night for Khalil Tate. Throwing on 1st down and finds his target this time. That's Tony Ellison. Closer out near midfield. Defended by Harris. A gain of 18 and a 1st down.
Oh, he is such a reliable receiver. Such good hands. That's his 2nd tough catch we've seen him make tonight.
Taylor gets to the edge. Cuts it upfield. Tough running. Dynamic running. Brought down finally by Jack Jones. Another 1st down. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A 14-yard gain by J.J. Taylor.
How frustrated do you think Tate is right now?
Yeah. Huge. He has not gotten in rhythm.
No. He owned October. Got him the name Mr. October for his performance. And November tonight has not started off too well.
Fires a dart complete this time to Shun Brown. Brown made the catch. You know, Brown's dad, Viron, played football at Grambling State back in the day. Q?
Yeah, take what they give us. That's been the plan here on 1st down now in the 2nd half. As these corners bail, it's just a little hitch route on the outside.
There it is again. But Brown got hit immediately by Jack Jones.
Yeah, that works, Q, as we see Jack Jones come up and make a good tackle. But you have to follow up that 1st down play with a meaningful 2nd down play. You get to 2nd and 1, now you got a chance to take some chances.
They're looking at a double move. Tate fires, and it's incomplete at the 33. Intended again for Shun Brown. That's His favorite target here on this drive. 4:39 to go in the third.
Q, the one thing we have not seen out of Arizona much tonight, the quarterback counter game. You know, trying to get him away from Tell and go the other way and get him loose in something other than just the zone read game.
Very interesting, Rock, because I was thinking, you know, the quarterback sweep, the counter, and QB draw.
He keeps it here. Tate finds a seam, still on his feet. Touchdown, Tate. He detonates. You knew it was going to happen at some point. 32 yards for the touchdown.
Well, and just as Q was calling for it, the quarterback sweep showed up, and a terrific cut by Tate. This is an outside run. He sees a lane inside and takes it. He's an instinctive runner. It's the only time tonight they've been able to free him.
Khalil Tate giving his team a little bit of life with his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. Pollock in for the extra point to make it 28-13. So the Wildcats still alive here, Rob.
What a fantastic view this is. You'll see the holes open up. Outside is where it's supposed to go. He finds the crevice inside, and he's too fast for anybody to get him from the side.
Boy, he outran a couple of guys in that secondary.
Outran those angles.
Back to Tate, if you're just joining us, an amazing story. Was on the bench for the first 4 games. Played sparingly. The turning point coming when he walked into Coach Rodriguez's office the week of the Colorado game, the first week of October. And he got in when his starter, Brandon Dawkins, was injured and hasn't been out since. This is Jones on the return. And a great way to seize back the momentum for the Trojans on a fantastic kickoff return. But there's a flag down on the play. 1st and 10. Jones running between the tackles. You know, Jones, a junior, set a high goal for himself of 1,500 yards rushing. A long cry for him when he struggled as a freshman. Called his mom a couple of times and his family back in Texas and thought about coming home because he was so homesick. Missed his family, his friends, and familiar surroundings. And
missed his hamburgers.
They didn't have no Whataburger here. You know, it's In-N-Out Burger in California.
I can't believe he didn't get converted to the In-N-Out burger.
Darnold tries to take off and gains a yard. Derek Bowles making the tackle.
Yeah, 6'2", 296. Derek Bowles was not fooled on that play. Got disengaged from the center and looked up and saw Darnold. Made a nice play.
A transfer from Boise State. Went to Coffeyville Community College after that, then found his way to Arizona. 3rd and 7 here.
Yeah, and Arizona struggles to bring pressure. They can't seem to get to Darnold, and they don't want to roll with the blitz. They don't like the matchups on the outside.
Darnold going to be sacked back at the 18-yard line by Bruno.
Luca Bruno out of Laney JC in Oakland on a 3-man rush. This is never supposed to happen. They only bring 3 against 5 blockers. He swims Udoga on the right side and gets inside. That's a tremendous sack.
And the defense with a big stop here for the Wildcats. Sean Brown standing at his own 40-yard line. They'll get good field position after this punt. The 3rd of the night for Budarovich. Arizona likes to come after it. And Budarovich gets off a fantastic punt. Brown got collared and brought down at the 28-yard line. Khalil Tate, perhaps with some burgeoning confidence right now after that touchdown on the last sequence. Gashes them again. Tate on the loose down to the 35. And this Wildcat offense has suddenly come alive.
Well, they found a little something. They've gone away from the zone read. A little bit more, a little zone read action here. But a blocker out in front this time using their tight end Woma to lead the way. So they're giving him a little bit more on the edge.
Keeps it again, Rod. And inside the 30 down to the 29. Houston making the tackle. Yeah, Tate's a little bit more fired up right now.
Well, you know, Rich Rodriguez has been running this offense for 20-plus years. Had Pat White do it at West Virginia, his best probably running quarterback ever. Denard Robinson won't like that, but probably so.
Or Sean King. King's all right with it. Oh, his receiver slipped. That was Nunley. Forward pass. It'll be incomplete. 3rd and 3 coming up. Nunley losing his footing.
I don't know that Rich Rod has ever had a quarterback as fast and thick and physical as Tate is. You can run him inside. You can run him outside. He will lower his shoulder. 3rd and 3 doesn't intimidate him.
Yeah. Pat White in particular was very slight.
Right. And you're in 2-down territory.
3rd and 3. See if they get enough on 3rd here. Tate looking to pass. Downfield and incomplete. Intended for Shun Brown. Tried to put some air under that ball, and 4th down coming up.
So you have a kicker that you know can make one from this distance. But are you feeling that sense of desperation that you need something else, something more? And I think Rich Rod's going to go for it here.
A field goal still, it's a 2-possession game even after he makes it, if he does. 4th and 3. Wildcats trying to stay on the field and stay alive.
6'5" against 5'11".
Poindexter, but Tate looking the other way. Has a man. Touchdown, Brown! And the Cats are clawing and alive. Khalil Tate kept the play alive with his legs.
Hold on, just hold on. They've been hanging around. We've been talking about it all night. Extending the play and finding Shun Brown. But Jonesy, all night we've talked about USC's inability to land the knockout punch.
Great point, Rod. And the touchdown last week against Washington State, a touchdown there for Shun Brown.
He gets man coverage. He's up against Harris. And watch, he just pivots back out. And when you beat man coverage like that and there's no one at that side, you got a chance to make something happen, and Tate found him. Yeah, I've made a couple plays now. Look, let's not forget the Pac-12 South. Control of the South is at stake tonight. And USC has dominated this game until the last couple of minutes. They had a chance to land knockout blows, and they didn't.
Khalil Tate trying to just find a way to win for the Wildcats. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. Jones stopped up and brought down after a gain of about 3 by Colin Schooler.
Good move by Arizona's defense on that 1st down play. They slanted. They moved their defensive front. We talked about this earlier. They're too small to sit in front of that line. When you move them and you attack and you penetrate, you have a chance.
Under a minute to go in the 3rd. Arizona on a 14-0 run. They bring a little pressure on Darnold, but he counters it, finds Pittman. And Pittman with a 1st down out near midfield of the 46. Dane Cruikshank pushing him out of bounds. Jones in the backfield. A little bit of a quiet night for USC's leading receiver, Deontay Burnett, number 80. He's the inside receiver to the right. Jones getting it done on the ground. Brought down at the 50-yard line by Larry Tharp Jr. And that might do it for the 3rd quarter. The Wildcats claw their way back into this ball game with a couple of touchdowns. Khalil Tate leading the way. The 4-time reigning Pac-12 Player of the Week. Does he have one more miraculous finish left? From Tucson, back home. And the kid from Inglewood is up to no good right now, folks. 15 minutes to go back at the Coliseum after this. They like the flame here for games at LA Memorial Coliseum. Arizona with a nice surge right now. They've scored 14 straight points to make it a ball game, trailing by just 8. Jones with the run, and 3rd down coming up for USC.
Not just any 3rd down. It's a big 3rd down. A little momentum for Arizona. USC settling in, struggling the last few plays. This could be a huge momentum changer if Arizona gets a stop.
Jones in the backfield. Now motions out. Darnold into a tight window for the first down catch at the 43 to Tyler Vaughns.
Nice job by Vaughn coming back to the ball that time, Q. I'm sure you noticed that.
Yeah, that ball had some zip on it. Darnold's dealing with some discomfort right now. During that last time out in the huddle, he appeared to be stretching his left calf and/or Achilles on his left foot. So I was worried about his push off and his drive, but it looked pretty snappy on that last throw.
Cedric Ware in the backfield. Little counter, finding a nice seam off the right side. Ware tearing it up. Ware! Touchdown! Oh, they're saying he's pushed out of bounds. One official signaled touchdown. So Cedric Ware's touchdown stands.
Yeah, you'll see the end of the play with Ware, and on Vaughn there was the hands to the face by Burns, number 2. That's when they flagged him for the 15. That left hand of his got up to the face mask. That'll be enforced on the kickoff. But what a tremendous run by Ware, and think about that offensive line. Andrew Voorhees doesn't get a lot of attention, pulled out there and led the way. It was a tremendous block.
42 yards in all for the touchdown. The extra point good, and boy, that's how you kill a rally that Arizona seemed to have coming. From the blimp, from any angle, Ware. From downtown, right off to the left over there, you see Staples Center, right where LA Live is and where our Sports Center studios are. I've been in this town for a minute, going back to Tuesday, Rod.
Did you drop by the Sports Center?
Yeah,
yeah,
got a chance to see some of the people there.
Good job.
J.J. Taylor in the backfield. They fake the reverse, and Tate in the open field. Got a blocker in front of him. Khalil Tate waiting for his blockers patiently all the way down near the 20-yard line. And he explodes again on USC.
Rich Rodriguez reaching into his bag of tricks. The fake reverse lead blocker for your quarterback. Faked it, kept them inside defensively, and boy, did he have himself a little caravan. 3 guys blocking for him.
He's got a way of gliding when he runs with the football. Picking his holes. And pushed out of bounds this time at about the 16-yard line by Chris Hawkins.
Well, give a lot of credit to those 2 offensive coordinators working with Rich Rodriguez, Rod Smith, Calvin McGee, reaching deep to find some things to free up Tate. Something other than the zone read.
Yeah, he's at about 138 yards now on the ground. Starting to stack them up. 2nd and 5 for Arizona. Tate hands it off this time to Taylor. And Taylor brought down for a gain of 1 maybe on the play by Lopes. 3rd down coming up. And Khalil Tate. Tough night throwing the football tonight. In the first end, improving in the second half.
Yep, they've been a little bit more creative getting him the football in the second half. At some point, though, going to have to make a play in the passing game, too, like now.
3rd and 5. Out of the backfield, got Taylor. Great move. Oh, he hit him with the sauce for the touchdown. He slammed the brakes on and waltzed into the end zone. Houston is still looking for him.
Well, that was the matchup. They had Houston playing him man-to-man at the linebacking spot. And when you get Taylor coming out of the backfield, that's a long way for that linebacker number 10 to run. No chance. Not against that guy. That is a mismatch. They found it. Taylor executed it with a nice little touch pass from Tate.
Boy, that scoring drive didn't take long. Just 137, Rod. And they get that touchdown back quickly. The extra point good. And it is back to a 1-possession game. It's a Pac-12 After Dark, starring Khalil Tate And somebody needs a new set of brakes for the Trojans. Tate's 2 touchdowns in his last 2 passes. Jones on the return for the Trojans. And Jones upended at the 25 and falling at the 27. You can always hand it off to Ronald Jones, who's stacking up some good yards tonight. He runs like that. Picked up about 3 on the play. Well, at least Darnold will have something interesting to talk about on his podcast with Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah.
Amongst other celebrities and stars he has on his podcast.
I think that's fascinating. I think he ought to be getting, credit for that podcast he does on kind of a weekly basis and has invited guests. And one of those guests was Will Ferrell.
Not bad. Communications major. Here's a sampling of his podcast.
Bringing our guest on the Season of Sam podcast, Will Ferrell.
How do you know it's really me, though? That's the question. A Will Ferrell vocal impersonator.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping it's you, honestly.
Not bad. Ferrell, a big fan.
Yeah, he said he's a big fan of Ferrell's. He said his favorite movie is Elf, because he and his family used to watch that an awful lot.
I'm kind of a Step Brothers guy myself when it comes to his movies.
Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby, and those thin little pancakes. I love those things.
3rd and 4. That pass incomplete. And in the words of Ferrell, you're the first or you're last. And the Trojans last on that possession. They'll have to punt.
Just say I love crepes, Ricky Bobby.
4th and 4. And Arizona going to get the football back here on a 3 and out. Arizona's defense already has more 3 and outs this year than they had all of last year.
Well, we talked about momentum. Score, stop. You've got momentum. And Arizona has it now.
Low snap. And a good punt by Bedrovich. A line drive, though, returnable. Still on his feet, Brown. Into Trojan territory, dancing around and brought down finally at the 47-yard line.
Think about what's happened, Jonesy. We've gone from a score for Arizona to a 3 and out to a special teams play and a 1-possession game in the 4th quarter. You want momentum? Wildcats have it.
Khalil Tate, the most dynamic player in college football during the month of October, back on the field, and it has been a different second half for him. He's got his team back in the game. They can tie it on this drive. Just when it seemed like USC had them on the ropes and reeling, the Wildcats fought back into it in the 3rd. Nice handoff to Taylor. Taylor gets the edge and picks up a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Yosefa with the tackle.
Yeah, just a little counter, start one way, bring it back the other. Another one of the second half adjustments we've seen from Arizona's offense.
First down and 10. Tate pulls it out and put it on spin cycle and picked up a couple of yards. Nwosu making the tackle for USC.
Jonesy, I thought 2 really good adjustments in the second half for Arizona. One was going away from the zone read, using some other things to get Tate involved. The quarterback sweep, little counter, that sort of thing. And then the matchup, the man-to-man passing matchup between Taylor as a running back with the linebackers. Those 2 adjustments have helped them in the second half.
2nd and 9. Pass caught at the 23-yard line. That's the big target we've been talking about all night. Sean Poindexter with an 11-yard pickup.
Well, that route has been there all night. Just a little stick route, 6'5", with the 5'11" corner on you. Turn around, catch the ball. It's been there, but they haven't gone there very often.
Tate has looked like a different quarterback here in the second half. 1st and 10. Tate keeps it. Good stiff arm and pushed out of bounds a little shy of the 15-yard line. He's wearing out that Trojan defense a little bit here.
Well, they've had more trouble in the second half setting the edge and forcing Tate back inside. And a lot of that is because of the counteraction and then the speed quarterback sweep getting out there in a hurry. Boxed him in the first half, not so much the second half.
2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup. Tate keeps it, picks up the first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal at about the 6. And they still don't blow the whistle, so the pile moves inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. A 13-yard gain.
He's a physical runner, and we talked about his matchup with Tell, you know, all night. That safety number 7 there, just looking him up, waiting for him.
Have those adjustments neutralized Till a little?
Well, Tate won that matchup. I mean, he got outside in a hurry, and then he lowered the shoulder.
Zach Green in the ball game beside Tate. Green, touchdown, and the Wildcats a 2-point conversion away from tying it. Wow.
But you don't need the 2-point conversion right now. You can go for it if you believe you have a play that works, but you got 8.5 minutes in this game.
They have stormed back, Rod, here in the second half.
Well, momentum. Nothing is more important. We talked about it. They got to score. They got to stop. They got a special teams play. Now, Rich Rod wants to go for 2 here. That's fine. You still have 8.5 minutes. And this is a gimme. You can take the chance. There's no real downside to it from my perspective, but there's a lot of time left in this game. And I'm sure he believes he's got a play that will work here. One they worked on all week long.
Tate rolls right. Flag down. Tate caught by Ellison. Wow. Will it stand, though? There's a flag on the play. Ellison went high to make the grab. And Khalil Tate feeling nice.
Offside, defense number 27 in the neutral zone at the snap. The extra attempt is good. 2 points.
They have tied the game up.
Well, Jonesy, you have a couple of 2-point plays that you work on all week long that you know if you get to do it, they should work for you. And this thing now, all tied up, Pac-12 South, open. Who's going to win this thing?
We are knotted at 35 with 8:23 to play. The Pac-12 South Division on the line here tonight. The winner of this game has a leg up on the rest of the field. Both teams with 1 loss in conference play. Arizona at 5-1. Clay Helton's USC Trojans at 5-1 as well. Jones on the return and brought down right around the 30-yard line. Cedric Ware in the backfield. Burnett in motion in the slot. Darnold steps up and delivers a strike to Vaughns. Vaughns becoming a very reliable number 2 receiver for the Trojans. Picks up 14 and a first down.
He was the number 1 receiver coming out of high school last year, redshirted because there were so many other talented receivers, and he's emerged this year as a go-to guy.
Burnett in motion. Darnold on the move, where he's effective. On the sideline, complete to Pittman Jr. for the first down at the 42.
When he's out of the pocket, I think that's when he's at his best, at his most comfortable. He sees the field much better, and look where that ball is. Right above the numbers, easy catch for the receiver. His accuracy, again, pretty darn telling.
21-yard gain on the play for the first down. Ware stoned with nowhere to go. That's going to be a loss. Boy, that defense, the guys up front. Belknap leading the way that time.
Yeah, and DeAndre Miller showing up more aggressive, moving that line, attacking with their linebackers, recognizing that on first down they got to take some chances.
Ware got a little twisted up on that tackle, Rod. He limped off the field a little bit. And Jones comes back in for him, a loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Burnett in motion. Darnold under pressure for Jones. Caught Jones with the first down. He got in behind Tony Fields.
Well, Arizona has become more aggressive to bring pressure. They've gone to man coverage, and you got a matchup that simply doesn't work. You got Fields trying to handle Jones out of the backfield. That's a linebacker on a running back. That never works.
Darnold rolling out again. Hits the edge. Complete to Burnett. One more look at that throw, and he dropped a dime in there.
Yeah, now watch Jones. He's in the backfield. Now he's matched up with Fields. He understands it. Just run right by him. And Darnold finds him, Q. Perfectly thrown ball.
Darnold rolling to his left. I'm standing at the 18-yard line saying there's no way he can make this throw. And the touch was in stride to perfection. Probably the best touch throw I've seen all season.
2nd and 7. Could be more where that came from, Q. Jones on the ground this time. Keeps those legs going. Brought down at the 1-yard line. Tried to body surf his way into the end zone, but the officials mark him a yard shy.
His vision is phenomenal. When he sees a lane, he hits it. How about the leg churning at the end? You'll see that just a football length short.
Jones leaving no doubt this time. Touchdown USC. His second one of the day.
Well over 100 yards for Jones on the night, joining his teammate Ware. This one he waltzed in, 24 carries, 115 yards. Couple of scores.
A great way to answer that touchdown by the Wildcats a moment ago.
Not to mention, it gave the USC defense a chance to catch its breath.
Quinn had mentioned the fact they looked a little bit fatigued on one of those last drives. 7 plays, 72 yards, 2:46 on the clock. And Sammy D living up to his end of the quarterback battle.
These two guys are dueling.
Yeah.
They are dueling. Jones. There's T. Martin up there. He says it takes him, just a couple of series in a game to figure out exactly how the defense really wants to attack him for the day, and he will adjust and go along with it.
How do you feel about the script versus no script on the first several plays? You were the guy, George Seifert, that...
Not even a fair question. I grew up under the Bill Walsh system. You script your first 12, 15 plays.
They were the first guys to popularize that, weren't they?
Yeah, he was the father of that.
Yeah. Plenty of time. There's a quick strike offense. Tate downfield. Intercepted at the 35. Harris with the turnover. Looked like a miscommunication between Tate and his receiver downfield.
Well, he threw to the middle of the field, and Ellison went to the sideline. And that's a first down play where you don't have to force it if you don't know it's there. Watch it. He throws it back across his body to the middle of the field. That ball's got to be thrown outside.
It was intended for Ellison, and you can understand the emotions of Rodriguez and his quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the safe throw is outside, and, Ellison was not far enough inside to lead him that way.
So the Trojans with the football. 5:23 to go. And USC giving it to Jones. Ware, who's back in the ball game. USC has the type of offense with the way they've run the ball tonight, Rod, to put the pressure on this Wildcat defense, because they can kill a lot of clock here with the way they've been running the ball successfully.
Yeah, their yardage has been good tonight. 300 last year against Arizona. Well over 200 tonight.
2nd and 7. Under 5 minutes to go. Darnold hands it off to Ware again. This time the Wildcat defensive front wins.
How about Jarris Wallace?
Yeah, coming up from his free safety spot.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of playing time with Scotty Young, dealing with the knee issue. And this brings up a huge third down. Now the question for Arizona, do you still feel like, if you're Marcel Yates, the D coordinator, do you feel like you want to roll the dice again and bring pressure and play man coverage? The last time you did that, Fields got hooked up with Jones and out of the backfield.
Burnett in motion to the top of the screen. Jones back in the ball game. And another dart thrown by Darnold, who's now completed 10 of his last 11. That one to Vaughns for the first down. And a clutch throw.
Well, Darnold read the zone quickly, knew exactly where he would have Vaughn, stopping at the first down markers, a little bit beyond it, and just threw a dart.
From the 47. Ten of 11 in the second half for the quarterback who some feel is the best quarterback on the board in April if he decides to come out. Jones still on the loose. Jones to the 1-yard line.
How good is he? Whoa.
52 yards for Rojo.
You talk about vision, the ability to be explosive, and then the flat-out speed, and then finish the run at the end.
Got to give it to him again for the touchdown. Touchdown, Jones. And he hits him with the silencer. His third touchdown of the day. And it was all set up by that interception.
And then it was set up with his run, that beautiful run where he showed you the speed after the vision, and watch the power to finish this, finish the run. He is determined to finish it, fights all the way through. And then the very last waltz into the end zone. Another score for him.
That one, a disheartening, disconcerting one for that Wildcat defense.
And this was absolutely a walk through the park there for him to get that touchdown. That left side of the offensive line owned Arizona's defense.
Boy, he and Ware tonight on the ground have done a fantastic job.
You know, we talked about USC not having a bye all season long, playing 12 straight weeks. Well, they may be happy about that if they close out the South, because then they'll get a bye before the Pac-12 championship game. They'll have 2 weeks to get healthy and rested and ready to play instead of 1 week.
Oh, great point. 3:09 to go. Trojans looking for their 8th win of the season against 2 losses. They'll come out first down and 10 at the 25. Tate gains about 2 yards on the play. Clock running, though.
Yeah, they're going to have to speed it up, and as much as they like to run it, you really don't have time for that now. You've got a 2-score game. You need a quick score, and you got to get the ball back. Rich Rod's saying the same thing. Let's go.
Full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. Deep drop by Tate. Fires incomplete. Intended for Ellison. Stops the clock with 2:28 to go. 3rd and 8 coming up. And for a young man that came into this game with the spotlight searing hot after a spectacular October, coming home, playing against a school that recruited him in front of friends and family. Expectations suddenly high. Pass intercepted, stolen by Houston. Wow. And that should do it.
It was a great throw to Brown. Brown actually had it taken away by Houston. He had picked up the first down. This is a bullet, an absolute bullet that's thrown right to him. He's got it, couldn't handle it. And look at Houston.
I'll take that.
How about that presence? That looks good. First down. Oh, no, it's not. Give me that. Give me all that.
This was tied at 35. And then USC rallied with 14 consecutive points. What a game for Houston, who had the scoop and score recovery off the block punt for the first touchdown of the night. And then now seemingly a definitive play to close the deal for USC. Jones down to the 23. Boy, Ronald Jones thinking about putting up 2 bills in this game.
Listen,
200.
We've talked about his first-round talent. Whether he comes out next spring, whether he's drafted in the first round, that's unclear, but he's got first-round talent.
Arizona, their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Second week in a row that USC has gone over 600 yards in offense.
Darnold hands it off to Ware, and Ware with nowhere to go. Arizona defense did a pretty good job, though, in the second half, for what it's worth.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Arizona. They were hanging on in this ball game a number of times. USC was close to a knockout punch. This young defense hung in there. They fought to stick around, and they clawed their way back in the second half. And with the Pac-12 South at stake on the road at SC, that's not an easy thing to do.
Here's Ware. And for Arizona, next week it'll be a game against Oregon State down in Tucson. Ohio State and Penn State both losing. TCU at 8 winning, Wisconsin winning, although Wisconsin's opponents haven't really done much so far. Ware with another run inside the 10. It'll be first and goal, and I'd like the Hurricanes to jump up to maybe number 6 or 7. There were some people thought they were a little bit fraudulent coming in, but a pretty convincing win against Virginia Tech tonight.
Well, all that's going to get wrapped up on SportsCenter. We can throw on our app and catch it on our way back to the hotel.
Yes, sir. Fight that California traffic on the 110. Notre Dame, Miami in prime time next week on ABC from Miami Gardens, Florida.
How big is that one?
Huge. Notre Dame, of course, number 3 in the college football playoff standings. Don't forget SportsCenter coming up right after the game. Total recap of the day in college football, all the big upsets. Georgia winning.
Ohio State going down at Iowa.
Big. I mean, they got hammered today.
After the way they played against Penn State, I thought it was almost a lock that Ohio State would win the Big Ten.
Looks like you mentioned Wisconsin's just going to jog in their side of the Big Ten Conference. So Clay Helton and USC will improve to 8-2 overall, 6-1 in the Pac-12 South Division, and a leg up on the rest of the pack in winning the division. That'll do it. This one is cooked, glazed, and ready to be sliced. Schooler and Darnold, a couple of former high school rivals, with a show of mutual respect, dapping each other up. USC wins it 49-35 for Khalil Tate. For a few thrills in the second half, but not quite enough. The 4-time Pac-12 Player of the Week going to take an L for the first time since becoming starter.
Arizona Wildcats 35.
And Jones close to another 200 yards on the night. 49-35 the final. For Rod Gilmore and Quint Kesnick, I'm Mark Jones, saying so long from Los Angeles. The City of Stars SportsCenter starts in 15 seconds.